Welcome back to the O-Gage Evolution Podcast, episode 16. And I have a very familiar face here with me today and a very familiar voice. If you're on social media like Instagram, you're definitely going to know who this is. I have special guest joining me today, Jim Gam, the Train Man, a.k.a. Mr. I Put Stickers on Everything. Jim, how are you doing, sir?
I'm doing great. I'm doing great. That was the perfect introduction. And yes, I am notorious for throwing up my stickers
A-
wherever I am. Whether I'm
Absolutely.
whether I'm out to dinner or if I'm at a local train show.
I look at your follower count on Instagram, and maybe I should
Yeah.
adopt that same mentality. Maybe I'll get more
Yeah.
followers on Instagram like that.
So how you doing
But
today?
I'm doing great. I'm doing great.
Yeah.
Speaking of stickers, I know I still owe you stickers. I am the world's worst at shipping stickers. Like, I just message me every day until I send you some stickers because
Okay, no
I have
worries.
plenty, but but
It's
yeah,
all good. It's all good.
I got your sticker on the board here next to me, so you can't actually see it in frame right now, but I think you've seen it on my stream or whatever.
I've
So
seen it on your live stream. I feel so honored.
yeah, your sticker's right next to mine actually, so I was like,
Yeah.
let me make
See?
sure I get that on there. So now that
Yeah.
works out well. Well, Jim, I know some people know who you are and some people may not. So give us a little introduction to who you are and what you do and what got you into the hobby.
So, I am, as I always joke, I am the classic story. Um, when I was 11 years old, my grandfather gave me my first Lionel train set, and of course, that got everything jump started. And to top it all off, my mother's side of the family is from Maryland, and my grandfather used to travel up via train from Baltimore to Newark Penn Station. And as I got older, he started taking me on the train back down to Maryland. So, at a young age, I was introduced to trains, and the addiction, started at a very, very young age. But
Yeah.
yes, I am the classic story. Grandfather gave me a set, and the rest is history. You know,
Right.
jokingly, I always say that I got started in the hobby in 1988. Technically, it's not true because, I started at 11. But the reason why I chose 1988 is because that's when I started putting my own money into the hobby.
I like
So,
that outlook, so
yeah,
I
yeah.
have I have the same similar story, right? My grandfather was a lifelong B&O employee, and
Hmm.
as soon as I was born, he had me in his train room running trains, and I've posted his post-war layout on my channel a couple times, and
Hmm.
so I was always in the trains from a little kid because of him, and then as I got older, he gave me my own set of trains, like two engines and cars, enough to make two loops, nothing crazy.
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
then, but I always say I didn't actually get into the hobby until like 2010, 2011, because that's when I started paying for modern
Right.
engines, so I like that we look at that the same way, man. That's pretty cool.
Yeah,
I like that.
absolutely.
Yeah, because
So yeah, I've been in the hobby obviously a very, very long time. Um, I don't know what it is, but me and trains, I just love them. You know,
yeah, I agree.
um, can't help myself.
I 100% agree. And, I know that you're a diesel guy. We'll get to that here shortly, I'm sure.
Oh yeah, oh yeah,
But as you know, the big boy is roaming the country right now.
yes.
And I wanted to go see it really bad. And then, I was like, you know what, man? Like, I'm going to go out there and see it with 30,000 other people. I'm not really gonna see it probably, so
Yeah.
I'm a little bit jealous I'm not seeing it right now, but, I'm sure there'll be another opportunity for me to see the big boy or something like that running, so oh,
You know,
well,
I'm
we'll
the
just look at the
I'm
models.
yeah, I'm actually going to see it on June 15th. My wife and I are going to go to Steamtown. Now,
Okay.
I think Steamtown is unique to see it.
Mhm.
One, I think Steamtown did it the right way. Yes, the other big boy is going to be there. Yes, they're going to have it staged. But what
Right.
I like about it, and I agree with you, there was no way at almost 64 years old, I want to be out there with 40, 50,000 people in the heat and all this other stuff.
Oh,
But
yeah.
Steamtown did a great job, I think. well, I may have to get back to you on it, but they did time slots.
Right.
So when the tickets were offered, I immediately got the 9 a.m. slot on Monday, the first day that it's going to be there. And it's my understanding that not only are they going to have, I guess, rangers there because it's a national park,
Right.
Steamtown. They're also going to have local police, and I also heard state police, just to control the traffic. That, hey, if your slot is at 9 o'clock, you're going to take your pictures, you're going to do what you got to do, and then they're just going to shuffle you along. So that's like right up my alley.
Right.
I'm not going to lie. I'm there to take the picture, maybe run into a few people and get on out of there. I'm not trying to be there with, like you said, 30, 40,000 people,
I
you
saw
know.
I saw a picture of it where it came into some town. I don't know what town it was, but it was
Yeah.
like an overhead view. I guess somebody was like standing on a bridge, like looking down the track at it coming towards them, and
Uh-huh.
there's just hordes of people. I was like, all right, if anybody thinks steam engines aren't cool, go look at that picture. That picture will tell
Yeah.
you steam engines are really cool, So it's cool for all the guys that live up there. Like you're lucky enough to live in the area. You don't have to
Yep.
travel halfway across the country to go see it.
Yeah.
But maybe I'll get lucky and they'll bring it to the South. You never know.
You never know.
You never know.
You're right about this. My first Steam experience was 611 in Stroudsburg. And my wife did it as a birthday gift where I got to go and climb on board in the shop and everything.
Right.
But what amazes me, I'm probably all of maybe 5'10", 5'10 and a half.
Right.
And I am truly amazed at how big those wheels are. Those wheels, like tower over me.
Right.
They're
Yeah.
they're huge. They're
Yeah.
huge.
They are.
I don't think you can truly appreciate the size of these steam engines until you get alongside of one.
I agree
You know.
100%. And like
Yeah.
my only experience with the 611 is at Strasbourg, but I probably did it a little different than you. I was
Hmm.
at the PA Museum, Railroad
Okay.
Museum across the street,
Yep.
and
Yep.
I happened to see the 611. It was like parked in the back by the shop there or whatever, and so I just ran across the street and went back there by the shop and took my pictures of it, and it wasn't running or doing anything. It was just sitting there. I'm like, that's good enough for me, man. Like I just want to see it, So. But,
So
yeah, they kicked me out eventually. They caught wind I was back there, like, "You can't
yeah.
be back here." I'm like, "Alright, bye."
Yeah. So I am a firm believer in, I would rather ask for forgiveness than for permission.
I 100% agree. I did the same thing
Yeah.
at, the B&O Museum
Yeah.
at Spring York, I flew into
Okay.
Baltimore,
Okay.
and, a bunch of the guys from my Discord or that follow me on different socials
Hmm.
met up
Hmm.
with me there, and they had the building shut down that had the Allegheny and the Yellow Belly in it, so I wanted to go see those, but they had it shut down, so, like, they had a bunch of diesels lined up. And,
Right.
they had, like, these gates says, "Nobody past this point." And I was like, "Well, you got the one building shut down, like, I paid to be here, so, like, we'll
Yeah.
just slide around the little gates," and me and Captain Andy was one of them. Captain
Oh
Andy was
yeah.
on the
Yeah.
he's
Yeah.
like, "Let's go," so we
Yeah.
went back
Let's
there. I'm like,
go.
"I got a
Yeah.
captain with me. I can't be wrong."
Yeah.
And, so we took our pictures, and then, somebody figured out we were back there, and they came and shoot us
Yeah.
back out to, like, where we were allowed to be. But, yeah, it's definitely better to ask for forgiveness for
Yeah.
sure. Yeah.
The other tidbit about Steamtown, it's my understanding that they're going to service the big boy while it's there because it's going to be there for 2 weeks.
Oh, okay.
So I heard, don't hold me to it. Once again, I may have to get back to you on it. It's my understanding that they're going to have those two SD-70s, the two 1776, the Norfolk Southern one and the Union Pacific one, on on the roundhouse
Oh, okay.
for pictures. So, like I said, this is all hearsay. This is just me talking with guys at my train club, which we can talk about that
Yeah,
too.
yeah. Mhm.
Um, but like I said, I'm looking forward to it. But I'm also looking forward to getting up there, like at 8 o'clock in the morning,
Yep.
do my thing, and I'm gonna be brutally honest, be out of there by 10:30.
Oh, yeah. Dude, I feel that,
Yeah,
you'll get the better
yeah,
weather,
yeah.
and, I think it's really cool that they're releasing like, selling tickets with time slots. I feel like that's genius idea,
Yeah.
that somebody pulled off there. So hopefully that
You know,
works out well.
I actually called Steamtown and I just was curious. I said, how are you going to enforce time slots? Because what did I just say a few minutes ago?
Yeah.
I may have an 11 o'clock slot and I'm trying to slide in there at 9:30.
Right.
And they go, oh no, no, we're gonna have park rangers here, we're gonna have local police here, and we're gonna probably have state police here. I
Right.
said, okay, yep, 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 yep. That will help with that.
Yeah, it's funny to me, man, that we have to have all these authority type figures to
Yeah,
manage the crowd for a steam engine. That's awesome.
yeah. Out of curiosity, have you ever been to Steamtown?
I have not been to Steamtown. I hear it's pretty
Okay,
cool.
it is pretty cool, and it's an active railway,
Right.
even though it's a museum. And I have, I'm just saying it out loud. I'm not afraid to say it. I have wandered that yard,
Okay.
and yes, the local railroad have come out and say, you don't belong here. And I'm like, oh, my apologies. I'm so sorry. Meanwhile, I'm taking pictures and videos. So
Oh,
it's a good thing they're gonna have some authoritative people there because yeah, man, if you're not there, I'm gonna see how far I can get away with it.
absolutely. Like, that's part of being a train guy. Like we want to go see
Yeah.
the real ones too, and I get it. They got a job
Yeah.
to do. They got to enforce their rules and laws,
Right.
but it's our job to go get cool pictures.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so that
Absolutely.
that's cool, man. I'm really excited for you to be able to go do that, and
Yeah.
hopefully I get to see some cool pictures because,
Oh yeah, pictures and videos,
like right now,
you
how
know.
they're running the big boy right now with the, obviously the big boy on the point. They got the NS Liberty Bell engine behind it,
Mhm.
and then they have the UP 1776 behind that. Like that's a good looking setup they have right there right now.
Tell
So
me about it.
it
Tell me
looks
about it.
good.
You know.
It's just amazing to me that they're just thundering across the country. Like,
Mhm.
they don't care. They're just going. I'm like, "This is pretty cool, man." Like, they're on
Yeah,
a
this
time schedule and they're running. Like, it's
it's
pretty
yep,
cool.
yep.
Yeah.
I mean, it seems like what, maybe a couple of days ago they were just in Chicago,
Yeah.
and now, yesterday I think they were in Cleveland, and if I'm not mistaken, they're in Buffalo, New York,
Yeah.
or probably pulling into Buffalo like right about now as we're talking.
Yeah, yeah.
And
They're
then the next
running.
thing you know, hell, they're going to be in Scranton on Monday, and I'll be there saying hello.
Yeah, they are running hard, and I've seen
Yeah,
some, you're on social media just as well as I am, and I've seen some really great videos of it, and I've seen some terrible videos of it. But,
yeah.
one of the really cool ones that I saw recently, there was like just a dirt road crossing in the middle of, we'll call it Ohio. I don't really know where the hell it was, but,
Hmm.
they had some old steam tractors pulled up to the crossing, and then,
Okay.
like, the big boy was coming towards him, and the big boy actually stopped, and, like, the dudes off the steam tractors got up, and I guess they went up in the 4014, blew the whistle and stuff. It was a really cool video just to see the old steam
Oh,
tractors sitting there with the big boy.
I'm gonna go look that up. That
Yeah.
that sounds pretty cool.
Yeah, I don't know if I
That's
shared that one or not. I may not have. And
yeah,
then I saw it come. Or saw it. I've seen it. A couple of videos of it coming across a bridge or a trestle today, and
yeah,
that was pretty cool videos.
yeah, yeah. It is. So I'd like to ask. I'm gonna put you on the spot as
Go
as I
for it.
like to do as I like to do with other train enthusiasts.
Go for it. Not many people do that to me. So
Yeah. So let me ask you. Do you think that there are too many big boys, you know, in our hobby right now?
do I think there are too many big boys? Um, right now, yes, being offered 100%. Do I
Yeah,
think there's too many big boys? I thought we were doing pretty good, you know?
yeah.
I thought we could have skipped this entire run of big boys because Lionel just did them in 2023, the Vision lines the
Mhm,
last time.
mhm.
Like, it doesn't seem like we needed a three-peat of the Vision big boy, or the third run of it 2 years after the second run. I
Right.
understand why they're doing it because of the 250, and I'm sure we'll talk about some 250 stuff here later. But,
Yeah.
all of these fantasy paint schemes is too much, to me. I
Yeah.
like some fantasy paint schemes. Some of them look really good. Some of them look atrocious, terrible.
Yep.
Throw them in the
Yep.
garbage. And,
Yeah.
but, like the thing that I worry about, I don't really worry about it so much as a con because I'm not partaking in the nonsense of buying them. But what I do worry about is, if the dealers are going ahead and buying their allotment of, I think Lionel's is 20 or 25.
Yeah.
If so say Muffin is buying 25 of the whatever run, right? And
Right.
then he doesn't sell them all, he's gonna have to set on them. Now, I think Muffin can probably absorb that because of the size of the dealer that he is. But, like, some of these smaller dealers, like, if they have to pay for the whole allotment of 25 up front and they don't have all the orders, or maybe some guys back out of the orders, now you're gonna have some of these dealers just eating some of these customer runs, and I think that will not be good for the dealers.
No. And that is my concern. If the number, like you're saying, is 20 or 25, but you're running, being facetious, 50 or 60 different schemes, like I said, I've been in the hobby a very long time. There's going to be some people sitting on big boys.
Absolutely, and,
Yeah.
as you know as well as I do, some of these dealers, we won't mention any names, but some of these dealers
Hmm.
like to charge MSRP or even above MSRP at times,
Yeah.
and, like, that's not really right to me, you know what I mean?
No.
Like,
Agreed.
that's part of being a dealer, and, even some of
Yeah.
the bigger dealers, like, when their numbers get low, I've seen them raise the price of the big boys that they've had in stock to, like, eBay prices.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's Trainword. I don't mind saying their name. They do it. I've
Yeah.
seen it for sure on their website, but,
Hmm.
um, I just don't think that's right for a dealer to do that. Now, if I'm selling a big boy on the eBay, sure, that I'll jack it up, But, like, as a dealer, I think it looks bad as a dealer to
Yeah.
do that, So, but yeah, I agree. There's just too
Yeah.
many paint schemes. Hell,
Ye-
we just got one released last night from Mr. Muffin. He broke a third
Oh
one out,
yeah.
so,
He brought the yeah, exactly.
you know,
I guess what was it, 2 days ago, he introduced the nickel plate one,
yep.
and the as I call it, the orange and silver Chessie in Ohio. And I guess yesterday or today, he introduced the Donald Trump one.
Yep.
Now,
Yep.
like I said, I'm all for variety. I really am.
Mhm.
Truly am. To each his own. I love the fact that, there is choices. But the other thing I'm gonna ask you, and we kind of alluded to it a few minutes ago. The other problem I see is you have all these 250 engines now.
Yeah.
Now, I will start off by saying I love the fact that the railroads, the big ones,
Mhm.
CSX, Norfolk Southern, Union Pacific, BNSF, even the Canadian ones, CN and CP,
Right.
they've all done these 250 Americas.
Yeah.
And I'm saying, man, all of these engines that we're going to see in the catalogs, and some of them are already out there.
Right.
I'm saying not everyone's going to be able to buy these, you know,
It's true.
but the budgets are, and I'm just going to say it. The budgets aren't, sustainable for this. I don't think so. I hope maybe I'm wrong, but
Yep.
I
So
think, I think there's too much variety right now.
so I'll touch on both sides, the offerings and the budgets. I think it's really cool that all of the major 4 Class 1s are offering something for the 250. Now,
Hmm. Hmm.
line as you know as well as I do, the catalog in January from Lionel had, a bunch of 250 stuff in there, like 20 pages or whatever the case was. Now,
Hmm.
that was too much, and, like, when Lionel's doing all of this 250 stuff by themselves, and then I know MTH has offered some 250 stuff, and now the real railroads are releasing their 250 designs, like, it's too much, like, I
Yeah.
love America, I'm really happy we made it to 250.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna sit here and attempt to buy all this
Yeah.
250 stuff because, I mean, let's be real, like, once it's in your collection, it's nice to say you have it in your collection, but it's only really hot this year, you know what I mean? It's like, I don't know, it's not my thing. Do I
Yeah.
have any 250 stuff on order? I don't think I have any 250 stuff on order. I'd have to double check, but I don't think I do. Um, but the budget part of this is I I still think there's a part of people in this hobby, collectors in this
Hmm.
hobby, that have the money that just load up, and you're not going to see them on YouTube and Instagram and Facebook and all these places, right? Like they're not going to give a damn about social media. They're just going to be over there stacking their boxes of all the
Oh
stuff
yeah.
they buy. I think
Yeah.
there are people like that, but I think the vast majority of people in this hobby are, we have a budget of what we can spend,
Right.
and that's the bigger chunk of this hobby. So yeah, I
Yeah.
feel like, but at the same time, if if you're uh if you're an NS guy, you have options. If I'm
Right.
a CSX guy, I have options, and
Hmm.
so everybody in the country has an option for their favorite railroad, plus all of the smaller railroads that are doing 250 paint schemes, which is pretty
Yeah.
cool too. So I like that there's an option for everybody to try to get something from their railroad.
Yeah. Same. Same. I agree. Like I said, I love the real railroads doing it. My concern is in the hobby, it's going to be overwhelming, as one would might say, a little bit overwhelming
Yeah,
with the
yeah.
choices.
I think it is. I think it already is a little
Yeah.
overwhelming, because if you're not like a diehard NS guy, and
Right.
you're just getting wrapped up in the 250 stuff, and you're a normal dude,
Yeah.
and you may not even be a train guy. Well, there's something
Yeah.
for you, but good luck figuring out what that something for
Yeah.
you is going to be. So
So a little backstory about me. For the longest time, I was a district manager for Verizon, and I was a part of the Let Go. So back in November of last year, Verizon announced that they were letting 11 to 13,000 people go. I knew I was a part of that. I did get a little bit lucky. They offered me a package. They asked me to stay on until February 22nd of this year. I say all that to say, oh, a sidebar. I also get to collect unemployment, which is kind of nice. But I only bring this up because now that I'm somewhat in a fixed money situation until I decide what I want to do later on this year,
right,
you know, I'm just gonna say it, my budget's kind of out of the window.
right,
I
yeah.
did place an order for a GP40 Vision Line, which I have another question that I'm gonna hit you with, about those diesel Vision Lines.
Yeah,
Um, but it's the budgets, and it's like, okay, I'm looking at 50 big boys. I'm looking at probably, let's just say, another 30, if not more. Who knows what the Lionel catalog's going to come up with in July of the
right,
250 stuff,
yeah.
So
And don't forget that other big giant 250, the 611 that was just announced.
yeah, yeah. Oh, you know what? We got to talk about that too.
We
Matter of
100%
fact,
did.
now that you brought it up, as far as I'm concerned, I think of all of the stuff that's coming out, that has one of the best price points that I've seen, you know?
100%, especially
Yeah,
given the fact that it's a
yeah.
hybrid.
It's a hybrid.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, we can say it. I mean, a $2,000 price point on a
Mhm.
hybrid 611, okay, with the 250 scheme on it.
Mhm.
Very smooth, wasn't, forgive me, wasn't gaudy or anything.
Very classy.
Very clean.
Yeah.
I'm happy for Jay that, he got his logo on there as well. That's huge for him. But with the Blue Nami and that price point, like I said, damn, I wish wasn't under a severance package. But wife is not here. Through hell or high water, I'm gonna get that engine because, as you know, 611. I don't know if money people know. Yeah, I have a little under 200 engines, but I only have four steam engines. I know it drives you crazy.
It
So
does.
I
It really does. There's no balance, Jim. There's no balance with you.
people are hearing, man, if this cat's got close to 200 engines and he's only got four steam engines, what's his problem? Yeah. But
Oh,
611
man.
is one of my favorites. I'm a
Yeah.
big 484 fan. I like the Northerns. I'm a
Yep.
huge Camelback fan. Um, but yeah, I'm gonna find a way to get that 611 from Third Rail for sure.
Yeah, so,
So
I'm a fan of that paint scheme on that 611 as well.
Yeah.
And, not just because me and Jay are friends. Like, I think they did a really, really fantastic job on the design of
Yeah.
that. They didn't
Mhm.
change the look of the 611. They just changed some colors. It's temporary if you guys don't know. It's a wrap.
Oh,
It can come
yeah.
right off. It's not
That's a wrap.
ruined,
Yeah,
you
it can
know?
go right back to its traditional ways.
Yeah, and I've seen some guys on the internet, asking if it can be changed, and then it's just a wrap, boys. It can come right off. It
Mhm.
doesn't take too
Yeah,
much effort, but no, I think
yeah.
they did a great job, and like I like how they kept Norfolk and Western on the tender. They didn't change it. They didn't do anything crazy. They kept the name on
Yeah.
there. Added a nice logo for 250, a very clean logo.
Mhm, mhm.
Yeah, I thought the design team did a fantastic job on that
They
deal. So
did. They did.
he's probably going to get me for that, and
Oh, yeah.
his catalog's coming out here soon, and I already know I'm in trouble there, so it's a bad time,
Yeah.
Jim. It's a bad time.
Yeah, tell me about it. You know, people will say, "Well, what kind of budget do you have?" I said, "Well, when I was working, my budget, you know, realistically ranged anywhere between 5 and 7,000,
Yeah.
a year, and now, you know, my budget's out the window right now, currently.
I understand
Oh,
that, sir. I understand that, and, you talk about budgets and, like, every year, like, I
yeah.
kinda sit down like, "Oh, I'm gonna be good this year. I'm not gonna get that much."
Mhm.
Bro.
Yeah.
Bro, it's
I
terrible, Jim.
I no longer say that,
Yeah.
because when you do say that, it's what happens then is, they throw 3 items in a catalog that you're like, "Jesus Christ, are you serious?"
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And then I like my guy, Matt Fall's line. I
Oh.
see those 3 or 4 items, and Matt's line, "I gotta have it."
Yeah,
Yeah.
I just met him this year
That's
at York, and I learned
yeah,
that about him
that's his
quickly.
line. He's that I don't know if you saw the All Trains Considered,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I drove Ben up there, and met Matt. And the one thing I picked up on real fast in his train room was he sees something and he says the magic words, "I gotta have it."
It's
I
over
I
with.
I, I know that feeling. I know that feeling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
But his
just met
but
him at
but his
Spring
budget's
York.
totally different than my budget.
100%. I've heard what his budget is, and I don't know how to get down like that, so
Yeah,
but,
I'm not gonna put his dollars and cents out there like
right,
that, but
right.
I'm here to say, a gentleman who's got a minimum of 25 big boys on his shelf,
Yeah.
okay,
Yeah.
you know what kind of budget he's got.
You know what? It's funny we talk about him and his big boys because a lot of guys
Yeah.
call me like, a lot of my friends in Discord call me Mr. Big Boy because I have 4. I'm like, "I only have 4, man. I'm not nowhere even near the top of the heap." Like, I'm just like a normal big boy guy, and, like, I've heard about this guy, Matt, from,
Yeah.
Country Bunker. I know Country Bunker from YouTube, and he
Mhm.
went up there a couple years back, and he was telling about this guy and his layout, and, like, he shows up to York in this Mack truck and, the whole thing,
Ah,
right? And,
it's
so
a
then
it's a treat. That's all I'm gonna say. It's a treat.
yeah, so
It's a treat.
Captain Andy knows him, and
Yeah.
Captain Andy introduced me to him, and
Yeah.
I was like, "Oh, you're the guy. You're the dude, right?" And then, so he was telling me all about stuff he has, and then he told me about this guy, Barry Cohn, who has, like, a whole
Uh,
E8 in his backyard. I'm like,
yeah, he's another gangster.
"Bro, I can't keep up with those guys," you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
No, but that's,
Yeah.
that video that Ben did with you, you were there, and,
Yeah.
I watched that, and because I wanted to see more of that guy's collection after what I've heard about him, and I've heard of how nice
Oh,
his layout was and stuff, and so I
it's
checked that video. I was
incredible.
super
Yeah.
impressed.
You know,
Super impressed.
his building, if I remember the numbers correctly, I think the building is 42 by 90.
Wow.
And I think his layout, I kid you not, his layout is probably 40 by 88. He uses every inch of that building.
Dude, that's amazing,
He
man.
he's got it's I'm just gonna say, and we can get into it in a minute. My old club layout in Patterson was definitely museum quality.
Mhm.
This Matt's layout is definitely could be in a museum, without
Yeah.
a doubt. It's museum quality, without a doubt.
And see
Just simply incredible.
that's what blows my mind when you see some of these guys' personal layouts and you see the
Yeah.
quality they're built to. Like, I know you're part of the New Jersey High Railers, and there's a lot of fantastic people in that club, a lot of very talented
Mhm.
people in that club. But, when
Yeah.
you see one guy's layout, I'm like,
Yeah.
That's impressive. One guy pulled this. I mean, I'm sure he had some
Yeah.
help from friends or whatever, but it's still impressive.
What's a little daunting is as much as I love the trains,
Hmm.
I'm impressed because he can run that whole layout by himself.
Nice.
Now, my club when we were in Patterson, I knew how to run trains on the layout. I mean, I knew all the switches. I knew where everything was. I knew when there was a problem, but it's daunting to deal with that size of a layout or bigger by
Yeah.
yourself.
Yeah. It's a
And
lot.
that's a
It's
lot.
a lot
That's a
going on.
lot, man.
There's a lot going on.
It's a lot of there's a lot going on there.
Now, I will
So,
tell you another video that you were a part of that you went to with All Trains Considered and Ben is that HO layout. Some New Jersey, maybe. I'm not sure what state it was in.
I think it's Northlands. So
No, no, no,
Northland, not
not
Northlands.
Northlands. No, it's
It,
a club where you
oh,
like
it's a
you
club.
walk under the
Oh,
whole layout.
oh yeah. Oh, that's the Union County Model Railroader Club in
I like
Union,
that.
New Jersey.
I like
Yeah,
that.
that's another gangster layout. Yeah,
Dude, it was and the
yeah,
German dude that gave you guys like the tour,
yeah.
like that
Oh
was a
man,
great video.
yeah. This guy, man, you talk about knowing the back of the layout like the back of his hand. It was
Yeah.
incredible.
Yeah, it was. It was awesome.
Simply incredible.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, I don't, like I said, these personalized layouts are incredible. The other thing about Matt's layout, I was in awe because I like fire trucks. I like, dump trucks. I was
Yeah.
a Tonka kid,
Yeah.
growing up. So in front of his personal layout, this guy he restores Mack trucks.
Yeah.
I was in awe of the fact of what he does for a living.
Yeah.
Dude, the Mack trucks that he had in there. He even had an old Mack fire engine in his shop. It's incredible the people who will only deal with him, have him restore trucks. We won't talk about the amount of money, but it's millions of dollars.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know, but it's hilarious too when you drive up to his place because he has a modest house like right on the main road there. So you
Okay.
pull in, modest house, probably 3-4 bedroom house. Then you get into his backyard and it starts off with a caboose.
Oh, that's right. I forgot he had
Yeah,
a caboose. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
he's got a caboose in his backyard. And then he's got his Mack truck shop, which takes up quite a bit of space.
Yeah.
And then it caps off with his 42 by 90 building of O scale trains,
It's insane.
you know.
It's insane.
And
Like,
then he's got the garages out back where
yeah.
he keeps his Mack truck that he brings to York.
Yeah. He bro, he showed me a video. He was telling me all about his caboose and stuff, and he showed me a video of him pulling
Mhm.
his caboose home on like a lowboy with like one of his other older, like a 1962 Mac or something crazy.
Right,
And I was
right.
like, dude, that's like one of the coolest things. Like
Oh
that's
yeah.
just show that to everybody. That's pretty cool. So no, that's cool that we know guys that have cool stuff like that. And you've got
Yeah.
to go visit it, and maybe one day I can venture up to New
I'm
Jersey.
hoping, like I said, me and Captain Andy, we're gonna keep working on you. We got to get you to the Northeast,
It's gonna happen.
between between well, Captain Andy's a single guy, he's got a
Yeah.
big old house, so I think we can house you, we can feed you,
Yeah.
but we've got to, like I said, we're gonna have to get you to my club, maybe a quick trip, because Matt's only like less than 2 hours away,
Oh,
and
that's not
Barry's
bad.
not that far either. So it's kind of like I'm here. I'm just gonna be your agent. Listen, we're gonna need you up here for like 10 days.
10 days.
10 days. I know.
10 days, Jim.
I know.
I was thinking like 4. And you're like 10 days. Just take
10
off work for
days.
10 days. Come hang out.
You know. Think of all the things that we can get you into in those 10 days, man. I'm telling you.
So
Well,
it
first
dawned
of
on me,
all, wait, if you visit Matt or Barry, or even back when we had our club, these are
yeah,
these are like all day trips right here now. Come on. You
uh,
know,
I
you're not gonna
agree. I
spend
agree.
there's no way on this planet you're gonna spend an hour or 2 hours at Barry's place or Matt's place. you just gotta, just give in. It's a day trip, baby. It's a
Well,
day
see,
trip all
see,
day.
he- here's what dawned on me recently. Like, obviously, I know a lot of people in the York, Pennsylvania area, Pork or
Hmm.
York, Lancaster, all those people over there. But then,
Yeah.
like all the people that I've met at York, because I've been going for a few years now, and
Yeah.
I know a lot of people in the New Jersey area. Like, obviously, I know you, I know Stu, I know Captain Andy, I know Kevin
Yeah.
Quinn. Like I
Yeah.
know a lot of guys over there now.
Yeah.
So it's like I gotta
Yeah.
go.
You gotta come up and see us. Gotta come up and see us.
Well, Kevin's
You know.
promised me if I come up, he'll take me to some really good deli not far from him, and that really got me excited. Actually, I'm like, I've never been to
Yeah.
like a North deli, so
Age wise, I think I said, yeah, I think I'm a year or two older than Kevin. And
okay.
Kevin and I grew up virtually in the same county as kids.
Oh, really?
So, yeah, so the two of us, the only difference with Kevin and I is, Kevin's got a true trucker's mouth.
Oh, he does.
Kevin could, yeah, yeah. Kevin could never work at Verizon.
Yeah, yeah,
But Kevin's the best yard master for New Jersey Transit. He's perfect for what he did for a living.
yeah. I saw the video you guys did where you went to see Kevin,
Oh
and
man,
dude, that was super cool, and
he
he
is
told me
he is
all
he's a
about
lot
that.
of fun. A lot of
Yeah,
fun.
my favorite thing that I've heard him say, like he was on a different podcast, whichever one it was. He was like, "I like to use the vernacular." I'm like, I'm stealing that. I'm stealing that from Kevin. I love that,
There you go.
So,
There
nah,
you go.
Kevin's a cool
There you
guy. I did a podcast with him a while back. He's great to talk to, very funny
go.
guy.
Oh,
So,
dude,
yeah,
he's like an encyclopedia with
yeah,
trains.
he
Oh
really is.
my gosh. You know, not only his knowledge, but you got to remember the guy came up working on the railroad.
Right? Yeah,
He was a conductor, he was an engineer. He knows how to fix these things. I mean,
yeah.
obviously, to get to the level, he was yard master in the Hoboken yard. And if I'm not mistaken, I think the Hoboken yard is probably the um, largest yard in, I'm going to say either the top four, top three yards in the country.
Oh, wow, that's pretty
Yeah.
large. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. That's I wish I would have been able to go to his work to see that, because I know
Yeah.
he was letting people come visit him, and I unfortunately didn't never took him up on that, so it
Yeah.
happens.
It was a treat. So now,
So
so now, so now jokingly, both of us are retired.
so let's talk about this club that you're in. I know a lot of people know
Yeah.
who the New Jersey High Railers are, and I know a lot of people know that you guys, unfortunately or fortunately, however you want to look at it, had to
Yeah.
move out of Patterson. And you guys are well on your way to a brand new layout and a new
Hmm.
building the way that I understand it, you guys own this building now. You're not leasing it or whatever.
Correct.
Um, how's that going? How's that working out for
It's
everybody?
going great. So once again, a little backstory. Um, I had moved. I lived in this, as quiet as it's kept. I lived in Florida for 8 years, and I lived in Jensen Beach.
Hmm.
That's how I became a huge FEC fan. And I moved from Florida up to New Jersey for headquarters for Verizon. And I had this layout in my mother's basement. I have an 8x12 layout in my mom's basement, but I wanted to. I had all these trains, and you can only put so many trains on an 8x12.
Right.
So when I moved back to Jersey, I looked up clubs, in the area, and of course, the first one that popped up was High Railers,
Right.
and I've been now with them 19 plus years. Obviously, come the beginning of the year, because I think I joined in February or March. It was in the winter time. So, come February of 2027, I'll be in year 20.
Wow.
So I got to be a part of the growth of that layout when it was in Patterson. Um, my son was also young at the time, so he got to see the growth of it as well.
That's
There's a
cool.
lot of father and son, with that layout over the years. But yes, as most folks know, that was the largest O scale layout in America. We had that status. let's face it, we were in an 18,000 square foot building. We could run, 20 trains at one time.
That's insane.
Like I said, it was a museum piece. It was quite disheartening when we found out that, and it made sense. The previous owner was getting older. He was in his mid 80s. He wanted to
Yeah.
retire. So, he was going to sell the building. Obviously, we were going to try to work with the new owner, but let's face it, this guy could probably get $10,000 a month for that space.
Yeah.
And of course, we couldn't afford $10,000 a month for that space. So, of course, we had to leave.
Yeah.
Now, I'm also a big believer in, say, hey, sometimes when one door closes, another one opens up.
Yeah.
So we closed down last September. We had to be out of there by September of last year. We bought a place in Boonton, New Jersey, by the way, 15 minutes from my mother's basement where my trains are, another 15 minutes from where Captain Andy lives. So when you come to visit, everything's close by.
Right.
I thought I'd throw that in there for you.
Thanks, Jim. I like how you just rolled that right in there. A nice little gift wrap basket for me, So.
But we bought the building. Yes, it's very much smaller than what we had, but let's face it. Yeah, we went from 18,000 square feet to 6,500 square feet. It's still going to be a nice layout.
Yeah.
Most of the other club layouts, like in the Long Island area, a couple of them, in the New York area as well, they're all between that 5,000 and 6,000 square feet. So listen, we're going to make the best of this. And listen, we got a place to run trains.
Yeah. Having 6,500 square feet, I know it might suck for you guys since you had 18,000.
That's called, you know what? I'll say it out loud. That was called being spoiled.
It was. And that was what I was getting ready to get to. I'm like, not everybody gets 18,000 square foot, Jim. It's okay that you have to have 6,000.
Yeah.
No, yeah. But that's, as many people know, you may have heard me say it, I'm banned on the OGR, but the cool thing about being banned is I can still go and look at pictures. So there's a guy that, has a post and he posts pictures of your club progress. So I kind of go in there and like every month or so, I'll go check and see the pictures. And you guys are moving extremely fast, in my opinion. You guys are moving.
We are. As a matter of fact, today I was there, and one of the big things that we've been doing are the every 10-foot drops.
Okay.
So every 10 feet, we're dropping, at least this is what I'm doing. So every 10 feet, you do a break in the track.
Yep.
You do about a foot of, black, red wire. You drop it down underneath the table. That way you have signal obviously going around your whole layout.
Yeah.
And, I'm not the smallest cat on the planet. So, right. but it has to be done. A lot of us are not the smallest people on the planet, but we want to do it right. We want to be able to run, obviously, Legacy, obviously DCS. We want to, accommodate, everyone who's got trains.
Right.
So absolutely. It is coming along. I can say this much. We can run trains. The track is not all laid down, but the game plan is to be running trains by the end of the year, and hopefully scenery also getting started. Well, some scenery is getting started because we're putting in the buildings as we're putting the track down.
Right.
So it's coming along. It's coming along.
Yeah, I think it's cool how you have the basement for your cafeteria area, your meeting area,
right.
And you have all of your shelves that are your sorry, they're not shelves. Sorry, I said that wrong. Your cases. You have cases.
Wait a minute. I remember I'm bougie. That's my locker.
It's your locker. Sorry, bro. Sorry.
That's my locker. That's my train locker.
Oh man, and I've seen plenty of those in videos that Ben has done. When he's came up to visit you or whatever, and just looking at some of those guys' collections that they have in their lockers. It's just some of those guys have some nice stuff, man. It is. That's part of what makes this hobby great, though.
Wait a minute. You said you remember how you said you had 4 big boys?
Yeah.
I got a couple of club members that have more than 4 big boys. I'm
See,
just gonna say that. I'm
I'm
just gonna
just a
say it.
normal big boy guy. That's
Yeah,
it.
you're all right. You're all right. You're
Yeah.
not crazy. You're
I'm
not
not.
crazy.
And my deal is now that I have four, I have three Vision Line, one is JLC. My JLC
Yeah.
one actually came from Chris Lord. I bought it
Okay.
from him at
Oh
York.
yeah.
Yeah, I was super excited. Like I seen his name
Yeah.
tag. I'm like, you're Chris Lord. I know you from the OGR. I was really excited about it. It was silly, right? But
Yeah, he's also, and he's also a club member too.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
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 And like the other guy that I buy a lot of stuff from at York is I think he's your treasurer or your secretary. It's Eric.
Eric, I pronounce Eric
Yeah,
Winslow. I think it's pronounced Winslow.
we'll
He's
go
our
with that.
treasurer.
I have no idea how
Yeah.
to say it either, so we'll go with that. But yeah, I
Yeah,
bought
wait a minute.
several from him.
He's another, forgive me, Eric. He's another stupid one with his cabinet too. I'm gonna say there's a couple of names, and I did it in a couple of Ben's videos. We've got a couple of club members that our club president,
Ben,
Ben,
yeah,
forgive me, Ben, he's crazy.
he has a lot of eerie. That's what I know
Um,
about that guy.
yeah, one of his good friends, Vinny. Vinny's got. I can't even keep up. When I'm saying these guys' names, these guys, if these guys are probably in the 200 to 400, you know, collection of engines. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
Ben.
See, when you say high railers, the insurance policy just on the trains alone in these cabinets is crazy. It's
Yeah, and
crazy.
Ben, your president Ben is
Yeah,
actually on my list to contact to have as a guest on the
yeah.
podcast.
Oh, you got
He
to get him on. You got to get him on.
I got his number. I just haven't
Yeah,
reached out
yeah,
to him yet. I need to give him a
yeah.
call and touch base with him, see if he's interested or whatever. But he's one of those guys, like when I used to go on the OGR back in the day, like
Hmm.
he was always on there commenting, he like him, Marty Fitzhenry, Hot
Yep.
Water was always on there telling somebody what time it was, and a lot of those really cool guys in the hobby were on the OGR, and it's just how I know these guys was from OGR. I don't really know any of these guys, so I think it's
Right.
cool when I talk to them or meet some of these different guys. But yeah, that's cool that you guys are making progress. And you like
Yeah.
the whole deal, like when you walk in, like it's like, correct me if I'm wrong, like when you walk in, it's like you're walking on the river and one side is New York or one side is New Jersey. Is that right?
That is correct. So the right-hand side, it's almost like walking into a church.
Right.
So when you come up those little bit of steps and you walk into the main room, the right-hand side is going to be New York City,
Okay.
and the left-hand side is going to be New Jersey.
Okay.
And the coolest thing, and we've started to build a little bit, is the stage
Yeah.
that's in the back.
Yep.
That's going to be our staging yard as well. So not only will, we be able to stage trains, but that's also how we're going to, get from one side to the other side of the layout,
Yeah.
which I'm looking forward to that build too.
Yeah. Like I saw that, I think maybe last time Ben Wayne was up there, I think he
Yeah.
showed that in the video.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like you guys are doing things and you have the upstairs
Oh yeah. We've
command
got
center,
our true upstairs is true control tower upstairs.
Yeah.
They knocked out all the walls so that we can look out over the layout. Um, I only have one concern with it.
Okay.
When we were in Patterson, we could have 500-600 people in there. I mean, it was 18,000 square feet,
Right.
so we could have a boatload of people. I think the way we're going to do it this time is it's going to, forgive me, it's going to be like an IKEA. It's going to be, you're going to walk in, you're going to follow, the path. It'll take you downstairs, and then obviously you can come back up again and do it again.
You're right.
So you're not going to be able to kind of like go back and forth however you want,
Right.
especially if it's crowded.
That
you
makes
know.
sense. You see,
Yeah.
like especially if it's crowded, to have some like control of the
Yeah.
situation instead of people
Yeah.
just clogging up the road. So that's
But
pretty
yeah,
cool. It's not a bad thing.
stay tuned. I think we are on track for. I believe we're on track for open. Typically, we were doing open houses in Patterson, October through February.
Okay.
And I think we are on track for an open house. I'm going to be pretty confident by saying it. Hopefully by October of 2027.
Okay.
to be
Yeah.
doing an open house, where the public gets to come in and see it all dressed up and pretty and running trains and everything,
Right.
like
Yeah.
like we had it in Patterson. So yeah, progress, is coming along real well.
Right.
You
And
know.
like I know I'm probably gonna have to make a trip to New Jersey well before the club is ready for an open house. So I guess I'm gonna have to make 2 trips because I never got to see the old layout. I never saw it
Oh
in person.
man,
I mean,
yeah,
obviously I've seen videos and stuff, but
videos, yeah, yeah.
I never got to see it in person. And
Yeah, well, now you're talking to someone who's got the keys to the castle.
oh
You're
boy.
gonna you're gonna you're gonna you're gonna interview, hopefully real soon, our club president. He's got the
Yeah,
keys to the castle.
I gotta give
So
him a
like I
call.
said, man, when you come up here, man, we're gonna treat you like royalty
Oh
almost.
boy. I don't know if that's good or bad hanging out with you guys, you know. But all my New Jersey friends are a little crazy, so I don't know how that's
Yeah.
gonna work out. But
Yeah, man, you gotta be careful with us Jersey guys. Telling
I
you.
Captain Andy, I figured that out
Yeah.
by being friends with Captain Andy and Stu.
Yeah.
Stu's no better, so
Yeah. Well, wait
uh,
a minute. I've been to, Captain Andy now has these monthly watch parties,
right, yeah.
and the cast of characters, and I'm one of them. You got Captain Andy, you got Stu, you got Kevin, you got myself. You got another one of my club members, Corey, is there now
Oh,
too.
I know Corey.
So
I know
yeah,
Corey.
no Corey. Yeah. So Corey's also our VP of operations at the club
Okay,
too.
nice. I did not
So
know that.
another keys to the castle guy.
Right.
So, but it just turns into telling stories, talking trains. There's alcohol involved. Oh my gosh, there's no wives.
Did you go to Captain Andy's Cinco de Mayo party?
I did not. Unfortunately, I was in my wife and I. My wife has a sick sister, and we were
Okay.
in Virginia. But yeah, I would have paid good money to be at his Cinco de Mayo party.
I have
Yeah,
I have several videos that were sent to me by an impersonator,
yeah,
so that's pretty cool.
yeah. So yeah, it's a good time. It's a
It
real good
it's a
time.
really good time.
I like you know what? I really like the fact of how the hobby has brought very interesting personalities together.
There are yeah. So, like, in this train hobby, there's 2 different types of people. There's the people
Yeah.
who just wanna be left alone and do their own thing. And then
We call them the quiet types.
the quiet
Yeah,
types will work, and then we
yeah,
have
yeah,
we have Stu and Andy and Kevin and those types of guys,
yeah,
and, so
yeah,
my favorite thing about this hobby right now is, like, I love trains. I could love trains very easily without any train friends, and I could be perfectly fine. But the one thing that I love the most, Jim, is,
hmm
like, going to York is the social aspect, and I
yep,
understand, like, I'm on social media and YouTube and stuff, so some people kinda know me, and, but, like, I've used that little bit of knowing or people knowing me to like create a whole
yeah,
community on my Discord. We're approaching 400 members on there,
yeah,
and like people come and hang out with me every Sunday night on my stream. We get like
yeah,
average about 100 people on there every Sunday night. So I've been
yeah,
having a great time with the social aspect of this because
yeah,
that's my favorite part is like just having train friends and being able to bullshit about trains and
yep,
new catalogs coming out and everything that goes on besides just a model railroad,
yeah, yeah. And that brings me to another subject that I'm a little worried about,
Oh boy.
and I want to pick your brain.
All right.
So I'm getting my first Vision Line engine,
Okay.
and it's the Burlington Northern GP40.
Okay.
And I have the biggest concerns of if you're running, like I don't know if I said it earlier, but my layout is 8 by 12. The outer is 072, the inner is 042.
Mhm.
And all I know is when I'm running, let's say, two double-headed power engines, one on the outer, one on the inner, two, you know what I'm saying? Two on the outer, two on the inner, and I turn on a smokestack, the amps on my MTH Z4000 creep up on me.
Right.
And I'm curious that they're going to have 4 smoke units in a super bass unit
Mhm.
because they didn't have room to put any motors in it, but 4 smoke units
Right.
plus the smoke units in the powered unit.
That's
My
4.
concern becomes,
So like 6 smoke
are
units,
the,
I think.
right? Yeah, yeah, yeah. Do you do you think these are going to be all right on these small layouts? On the big layouts, it's not going to be a problem.
Um, so let me ask you. I know you run off a Z4000.
Right.
Um, do you have one handle of your Z4000 powering both tracks?
I do.
Okay, so
Yeah.
um, that that may be problematic. So, like, what I would maybe suggest doing is splitting your inside and outside,
Yeah.
putting one handle, one on another handle.
Yeah.
So like for instance, I've ran triple headed legacy B&O EM1s, big
Okay.
articulated steam engines with all of the smoke units on, and I was fine. Now I've also ran, what the hell? Hold on. I was running something. Oh, my ABBA legacy FA2s that all have smoke units.
All smoke units.
Yeah, I
Okay.
had all 4 smoke units on, all are powered. Sorry, 3 are powered, 1's a super bass, and
Right.
I was doing pretty fine, and then, like but I turned the power up real fast, like, speed up real fast, and that
Hmm.
that that did pop a breaker, so, um
Yeah.
but, like, in your case, like, if you just run them, if you just have just those on the track, I think you'll be fine. I think it'll work,
Yeah.
but if you have
You know
something
what?
on the outside track, it may pop.
I'm gonna have to have my son help me because getting underneath the layout, you know, I don't like getting down on the concrete anymore
Right,
and
right,
crawling. But that is something that I could definitely try. You know, for 8x12, you can get away with one handle,
right,
you know.
yeah.
So but
It's
that is a thought process. Why don't I put the inner on one handle and the outer on the other handle?
especially just, like, for those cases where if you're gonna run a
Yeah,
pile of smoke units burning, like,
right.
it's gonna pull, so it would just it
Yeah.
would it would just kinda help alleviate that, in my opinion. I could be completely wrong. Somebody listening to this will be like, "Zach's an idiot," but
Yeah.
I think it would work, but
Well, like I said, I asked that question to Ryan of Lionel, and he
mhm,
said that it should not be a problem. So I say all that to say I got the powered unit,
yeah.
and I'm one of those who will wait. Yeah.
Oh, you're back, you're good. Yeah, you're good. You still hear me?
Oh, I'm good. Okay. All right. Um, I know that I miss out on pre-orders, but um, sometimes I just like to see the other folks dealing with any issues that could come up before I actually buy.
That's
So,
the way that all of these companies have been going, Lionel, MTH, all of them.
mhm,
We'll even throw Atlas in there in certain cases. Like, it's not a bad way to go. Like, it's
yeah.
honestly not, and I know everybody says, "Oh, if you don't order it, you won't get it." Except the big dealers are all gonna order extra. Like, they're gonna be out there, so, um,
Yeah, and I'm fortunate to my name is known with the big dealers, which is quite helpful.
yeah,
Muffins knows me, the Train World knows me,
yeah.
just about every dealer pretty much knows me. Matter of fact, I don't know if you can see it, but I'm wearing an old dealer shirt from tonight when I lived in Florida.
Okay,
I got on a ready to roll
okay.
uh shirt that Bill Lucas gave me, the owner,
Yep,
years ago when I was living in Florida.
that's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I've never been, to that store actually. I live north of Orlando, so,
Right, right.
but I have worked in that area down there. Like, I was
Hmm.
living on an island outside of, Fort Pierce. I know you were in Jensen Beach, so
Yep.
PSL, Stewart, and all these
Oh yeah.
different places. So
Oh
that's
yeah.
that's cool. But I do want to share before we get off here. I do want to share one little story with everybody that nobody knows except me and Jim and probably my girlfriend. But when I met Jim, I was in Chris Montagna. You guys may know him as Chris's Trains and Things basement running trains, and Jim was there with some of his boys, and he comes up to me and he wears this ring, and if you ever see it, you can't miss it. He wears this ring, and it's a pit ring, University of Pitt, and as far as I know, Jim is the only University of Pitt guy to give me some static for being a Florida State guy because Florida State lost to Pitt last year. So, Jim, I know you're an athlete that
Yeah.
attended
So
University of Pitt,
yeah,
so that's all good. But go ahead and
yeah.
talk about that.
Let's just say this. I'm an old athlete. So from 1980 to 1984. and of course, a lot of folks probably weren't even born yet. I was a 4-year swimmer at the University of Pittsburgh. I attained all Big East status in the 100 breaststroke. But my other claim to fame and why I picked on you was is that I lived next door to Dan Marino for 2 years at Pitt. And I
Uh,
knew the one time that we beat Florida State was when he was the quarterback. We
yeah,
hadn't beaten Florida State since he was the quarterback. And yes,
right.
you and I were in the basement, and I just said, you know what? I got nothing to lose here. Let me remind him that Pitt beat Florida State this year. It only took him, what, 40 plus years to do
It
it.
did. We had a we had a generational run in Tallahassee with Bobby Bowden and Jimbo, but as of late, we lose to a lot of people in Tallahassee now. So it's the way it goes, that's sports. But no, I thought that was funny that you, when you introduced yourself to me, that's how you did it. I thought it was
You know,
hilarious, and I wasn't mad at all about
yeah. So I
it.
said, well, I said, let me at least preface it that, about how old I am, how long ago it was,
Yeah,
but
yeah, no,
yeah,
no.
yeah, but I'll take that W. I'll take that W. Cause
Absolutely.
it's,
I don't blame you,
cause
sir.
what, let's see, from 1980 to 2025, I don't know how many years that is,
A lot.
but the record is like 2-40 probably.
Well, overall, I'll be fair. Overall, Pitt has the overall record in football in Florida State. So,
Yeah,
they had they had all those teams with like Mark May and
right,
Dan Marino, of course, did plenty of
right.
damage to the
Yeah,
state of or Florida State. So,
yes,
but it's all good. But before we
yeah,
get off here, Jim,
yeah, man.
what are you really excited about right now in the hobby?
That's a great question. You know what I do like is the youth.
Yeah.
Um, I like the fact that when we look at these manufacturers, you got Ross at Atlas, young
Hmm.
guy. You got Jay at Third Rail, young guy.
Yep.
Oh, I did this before. I forgot who's our MTH guy?
Bradley.
Bradley.
Yep.
Right. Bradley, another young guy.
Yep.
But Bradley's got help, because Bradley married Mike Wolf's daughter,
He sure
the
did.
previous owner. So,
Yeah.
but the the overall theme of this is that I'm encouraged by the youth in the hobby, which
Right.
means I believe it's going to be sustainable.
Absolutely.
Um, I've said this before with other people. My fear of Lionel was that they saw themselves like the BlackBerry of the industry.
Hmm.
Being that I used to work for Verizon, BlackBerry was, I'm just gonna say it, quite arrogant. They thought they were the bee's knees.
Yep.
And then came along Apple and Samsung.
Yeah.
And we all know where BlackBerry is today, and we all know where Apple and Samsung are today.
Right.
So I'm hoping that the youth of Atlas, Third Rail, and MTH, it's not like they're new kids on the block.
Yeah.
MTH has been around for a minute, but I just like the fact that I believe these young guys will keep Lionel on their toes.
Oh yeah.
So, I don't think the hobby's going anywhere. Do we have too much stuff to buy? Of course, yeah. But I do like where the hobby is.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. So to touch on that a little bit, like with you saying, do we have too much stuff to buy? I think that's a very good sign that the hobby is really healthy. And
Hmm.
I feel like the one thing that will never change about this hobby and is this goes back to probably the 50s or something crazy. But like the
Right,
older guys were always saying the hobby was dying, and that just continued on through the generations. But yet
right,
somehow magically, young people keep stepping up and filling the hole. So,
right.
I'm like,
Exactly.
as me being, I say I'm younger, and like I'm gonna catch flack from you some of this, but like I'm not really younger. I'm 41 now, but like when I really
Hmm.
started my YouTube channel, I was late 20s, I think, right? So I was
Hmm.
technically younger then. But,
Yeah.
like when I go to York or even like when I have interactions with people on any of my social media platforms, like I talk to a lot of younger people in their 20s, teenagers,
Hmm.
30-year-old kid or 30-year-old guys. So like I
Hmm.
feel like the youth is there. And
Yes.
like I've probably said this, you've heard me say this. It's easy to get young people to like trains, especially little kids. It's very
Yes.
easy to get them to like trains. It's very hard to convince their mom and dad to go spend the bill to buy these model trains. That's the hard
Yeah.
part. But
Yeah.
I think the hobby is going to be fine. Like social media is helping tremendously. It's just putting the reach of social media out there. I feel like
Yep.
the social media guys are getting away from the gatekeeper mentality that like a lot of the old guys used to have, or
Yes.
some still
Agreed.
have.
Yeah.
So I think it's great that we go to York, and I know a lot of people will be like, "Oh, it's not the same York as it." Yeah, because we have the internet. We don't technically need York anymore. But I go to York to honor the history of York and the hobby, the TCA, the whole deal.
Yeah.
Like when you go there, you see a lot of younger people,
Yep.
with their mom and dads, and like they're excited about stuff, and they're
Hmm.
excited to get like starter sets and dyno
Yeah.
trains and all this bullshit. But
Yeah.
no, I think we'll be just fine. Just the hobby is going to be expensive. It always has been to an extent, and always will be. But that can be said for any single hobby that you want to talk about. They're all expensive.
I'm gonna ruin this a little bit. You know that set that I got when I was 11?
Uh huh.
Take a guess at how much that was.
Let's see.
So you're talking 1970. Let's just say 1973. A
40
Lionel starter set.
$49.
How about that? You were spot. You're very close. I think it was like $40.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a good call. Very good
Yeah.
call. Yeah.
Yeah. But like in the 70s, $40 was
Yeah.
probably
40
still
bucks
a
was a
lot of
lot of
money.
money back in the set.
Yeah.
Absolutely. You're
Yeah.
absolutely right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like somebody told me this. I don't know. I didn't go fact check them, right? It's not my deal. But
Yeah.
somebody told me if you take the prices from back in the day and put them in like the inflation to now,
Yeah.
our stuff now is cheaper than it should be. I don't know if that's accurate or not, but
I don't know about that one, but
I don't either. I didn't go double check, and
yeah.
I'm like, sounds cool. I just know what the bill
Yeah.
I got to pay is. So I'm not really worried about what it should or
Yeah.
shouldn't be. So,
Yeah.
but speaking
But
of which, I
yeah.
just got a new engine today, Jim.
What'd you get?
The new 440s from MTH. That's the B&O one.
Oh,
Yeah,
those are sharp. Which one did you get?
B&O.
The B&O. Okay.
Yeah, it's
All
on.
right.
I made a reel. It's on Instagram. After this, you can go check it out.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'm gonna go check it out.
yeah. I'll do a full video on it too on
All right.
YouTube. But
So here's what I'm gonna do as we wrap it up.
mhm,
My goal probably, because I'm not collecting, Social Security anytime soon,
right,
and I'm only going to be 64 in September.
right.
I'm going to find something else to do so that I can get back to getting, trains again.
Yeah.
But you and we're gonna stay in touch, and we're gonna talk about some Steam purchases. You already know about one that I don't know how I'm gonna get away with it, but I'll figure out a way.
Yeah, well, I tell you what.
So
After this, Jim, just shoot me your
yeah,
phone number on Messenger on Instagram, and
yeah, yeah,
yeah, we'll make it
and we'll
happen
go
for
from
sure.
there.
Yeah. Well,
So
Jim, as we close this up here, let everybody listening know where they can find you at. Like, what's your social medias, where they can hunt you down,
oh
talk
yeah,
to you.
so you can find me on all the socials, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and it's all under Jim Gam the Train Man.
All right, sounds good. And
You can also find me under the website of the New Jersey High Railer Model Train Club too.
yeah, and if anybody's curious, they have an entire member list on their website. I did check
Yes,
out the other
yes
day.
we do.
I thought
Yeah,
that was pretty cool.
yeah,
I saw they made Ben an honorary member. He's on there now. So,
yeah. Well, you know what? I didn't want to. Okay, I'll say it out loud. We gotta get you up here, man. We're gonna get your picture on the wall too.
oh hell, you
See?
better tell Ben I'm gonna need a smaller shirt though, because
Yeah.
I don't know. He had Ben look like he's wearing a tent. I'm like, what's
Tell
going
me
on
about
here?
it. Yeah. Well, a lot of us high railers, we're pretty big guys.
I feel that, bro. I got the same problem, so it'll be fine. But for all you guys looking for me, I'm
Yeah.
Zach, Joker's Trains on all the social media. That being, let's get them in order here: Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok. I might be missing one. I'm not sure.
Okay.
And come join the Discord. It's free for everybody. A link will be in the show notes or the description or whatever
Uh-huh.
you want to call it here.
Hmm.
Discord is O-Gauge Evolution, just like the podcast. We're approaching 400 members. Come hang out.
Hmm.
If you like trains, you got problem making train friends, come hang out with me and the boys. We'll help you spend money, get all the trains you want. Like, that's the problem with having my Discord, Jim. Like, if you're
Yeah,
looking for a train, we'll find it for you.
you're gonna find it exactly.
That's the problem, you know. So,
Yeah,
y'all know the deal. Until next time, I'm
yeah.
gonna holler at y'all. See ya.